Good afternoon, wherever you are listening to us. We're in the northeast of England this afternoon. Gateshead against Woking in the National League. It was lovely and sunny earlier, less than an hour ago, something like that. It was a lovely winter's day, but there's a thin veil of cloud now across the ground above us. The wind's relatively light. Thankfully, it's dry. This time last week, the country was hit by Storm. Was it Storm Bert? I'm not too sure. I'm getting them mixed up. But anyway, we were hit by quite a storm last weekend. It was Storm Dara. Of course it was. But welcome anyway. The teams have yet to come out, and it's a clash involving two sides very much at the opposite ends of the table. Woking just 1 point above the bottom four. They are on a wretched run at the moment, just one win in their last 13 league games. And if by any chance you were listening to the radio coverage on BBC Surrey, you may well have just heard the interview that was played earlier this week involving the assistant manager Ben Turner, saying that the criticism or the abuse that Michael Doyle has received recently has been unfair, unjustified. It has been a difficult time for the club. He did explain a number of issues that they have faced themselves, especially during pre-season at a time when the future of the club was not clear. But following what now appears to be the rubber stamping of the club takeover earlier this week, that was approved by the shareholders. It may now feel as though the club could be entering a new era, a new positive era, and the message from Ben Turner this week was very clear. Get behind us, please support us, because we want to look forward, we want to look ahead. Both teams are now out onto the field. I will go through the lineups very shortly with you, but helping me today with our online commentary, and he's usually with me on the road with Woking, it's Ian Nicholson. Ian, lovely to see you kitted out nice and warm.
Yeah, we are, aren't we? But it's chilly today, although I am looking at some fans over there, true Newcastle Tyneside style, just in t-shirts, but no, it's chilly.
Certainly a great atmosphere at the Gateshead International Stadium. All the fans are in the main stand. We've got a great commentary position very close to the halfway line as well. So let me go through the lineups then for you, with Woking making 3 changes following the 2-0 defeat in the league against Yeovil Town. That was their last league match, and 2 of them are making their debut. Frank Vincent comes in, making his debut on loan from Dagenham and Redbridge. He comes in at left back. Also coming in, Ini Effiong, rejoining the club for a 3rd time. He's going to play up front, the hugely experienced player. And Alan Judge, talking of experience, Alan Judge comes in as well into the heart of midfield. 3 changes then. Dion Kelly-Evans drops out completely. Jermaine Anderson drops to the bench as well. And we are about to get underway. And it'll be Gateshead kicking off. And away we go with the side in black and white. The side from the northeast kicking off, playing from right to left, attacking down the right hand side with Terrell Newton into Williams. I'll give you the lineups very shortly, as Woking try to get a break of the ball. They don't succeed though. Great burst into the area, falls onto this near side with Warman keeping the attack alive. Then he stinks into the area, the header, early header coming in from Hosseini, and that drifts over the bar, but Ian, Gateshead very much on the front foot in the early stages.
Yeah, the Gateshead are a top side, they're a good passing side, you can see that, playing it to feet, a lot of movement. Looking at the Woking side, it does look at the moment as if it might be a back three actually, with Dennon Lewis at right wing back and Vincent at left wing back, but we'll keep listeners posted if that changes. Sometimes things can change quite early on.
So Woking line up with Jaskalainen. Vincent, as I say, going in for his debut at left back. Chickson operating down the right, we suspect, with Dyche and Harries at the centre of the defence, as tracking back is Dennon Lewis, clears or tries to clear upfield, but that's blocked and out for a throw to Woking, wearing yellow jerseys, blue shorts and socks, with this poor away record of theirs that they are desperate to change, as it's hoofed down this near side by Dyche and then follows it up with a header over the halfway line, doesn't quite reach Ward, and tracking back for Gateshead is Ben Radcliffe, one of three at the back for Gateshead today, alongside Jean Bellahoun and Joe Grayson in midfield. Luke Hannard, Josh Williams, Ben Warman, Regan Booty and Callum Whelan, as Jaskalainen clears long. Terrell Newton expected to play in the number 10 position behind their leading goal scorer Owen Osani with 8 goals this season. Here's Hannard, drifts the ball to the far post, it's beyond Josh Williams, keeps the ball in play, now he's with Newton, drills a shot in on Jaskalainen. I think you'd think he knew that ball was going wide. For a moment it did look as though he was rooted to the spot, but it has gone wide and out for a goal kick.
Yeah, he looked quite relaxed there really, just letting it
more relaxed than me.
but I think we've already seen the first 2 or 3 minutes, Gateshead on the front foot, playing into feet. Woking, when they get the chance, looking to get it forward pretty quickly themselves, but more directly.
Certainly, the Gateshead fans are making plenty of noise as the sound reverberates off the roof above us. Newton laying the ball off now to Osani, strikes it, cannons off the thighs of Max Dyche, and it will be the first corner of the game, and it goes to Gateshead. First goal of the game, and Woking needs to be on their mettle. Gateshead very much forcing the issue. Hannant with his orangey red boots. In fact, it's yes, it is Hannant in fact, and that's going to be another corner. That time it comes off Chickson. Whelan swings this one in, bounces inside the 6-yard box. Now a player goes down, then the referee has pointed to the spot. It was Williams going down under the challenge, and I'm just trying to see, Ian, who was tracking him, and it was Ward, I think, tracking Josh Williams. Josh Williams went down as if he was pushed. He went down inside the 6-yard box, and the referee has pointed to the spot.
Yeah, we just didn't have a clear view of that. It really looks like it was, often players are grappling at those points, but it was obviously more than just the routine that the ref thought he saw.
And Hannant is going to take this. What a dreadful start this would be for Woking. Just after 5 minutes gone, and they have already conceded a penalty. Jaskalainen waits, just bouncing up and down on the line. The referee just making sure every player is outside the box. Hannant stood slightly to the left of the ball. There goes the whistle. Hannant waits, really taking his time. Then stutters with the run up. Jääskeläinen dives the right way, but he can't keep the ball out of the net. A disastrous start for Woking. They trail 1-0 inside the first 6 minutes. Ian Nicholson.
That's a real body blow, and it's one thing to lead the goal through good play or great play or be opened up, but that looked like it was something that the referee had judged to be grappling to the ground, and so often those aren't given. Obviously the referee today felt there's enough there to give the penalty.
Well, when you're on a bad run, such as Woking are right now, it goes without saying, doesn't it? You need a solid start, if nothing else, to build confidence. And yet here we are now, with them already 1-0 down.
Yeah, it's.
And they've barely seen the ball.
Yeah, it's sort of just a real kick in the teeth, really, when when things are against you. And as I say, it's one thing to be opened up in play, but that's self-inflicted, really. But so often those aren't given.
And this is a time when they really need cool heads. Woking, flicked forward by Andrews. They just can't get out of their own half at the moment. Woking, and here they are once again defending with Williams, who won the penalty for Gateshead. Short to Hannant, and now Belaun playing it square onto this near side with Grayson. Almost slips, tucks the ball inside to Warman. Now caught on the knee of Hannant. Wearing gloves. I'm sure he won't be the only one out there. Grayson lines this one up, throws it into the box, headed away by Dyche. Andrews can't get the ball further away, and Belaun just taps the ball towards the far side. With Whelan, just slips on the spin, and it bounces on the running track on the far side, and finally Woking can just actually get their foot on the ball. They are still inside their own half though, but at least they've got the opportunity now just to string a few passes together. Lewis just bends the ball down this near side, lovely flick inside by Ward, wins it back off Grayson, flicks it towards Lewis. Lewis may get a corner here for Woking. It isn't going to be one though. Lewis not happy with the decision. Goal kick for Gateshead, but if nothing else, Nicholson, at least they've gone beyond the halfway line.
Yeah, that's the first time Woking have really struggled to even get into this game so far, and to be 1-0 down already, as we were just saying, is a real body blow.
As now Terrell Newton almost bursts through. Harris intercepts, only for Gateshead to come forward again with Hannant. Now with Warman. Down this left hand side, and the pass is behind. Hannant down this near side, and finally some relief for Woking coming up to 10 minutes. And Woking just really struggling to settle into the game, already losing by 1-0. And it's Hannant scoring from the spot. Jääskeläinen dived the right way. It was well taken, powerful, right into the corner. And Woking just needs to get some kind of foothold in the game. I don't think Effiong has even touched the ball yet. Inside the centre circle. Gateshead totally dominating. With Grayson. Short towards Whelan, raises his left arm, looking for a little movement, comes inside away from Andrews, pokes the ball through, looking for the run of Warman, but it's just ushered back by Max Dyche, very calm, under pressure, and it's back towards Jääskeläinen.
Yeah, Woking really, as you were just saying, really struggling to get into this game, and all Gateshead really coming forward, as they would be expected to do. They do come forward well. They've got a great midfield, particularly with Callum Whelan and Regan Beauty there. But Woking now out with Jamie Andrews.
And they tried to come forward through Vincent. It's going to be a throw for Gateshead. Well, at the moment, Adrian, you say lots of change, but it's not good change, I'm afraid, because it's a familiar story for Woking on the road. They are trailing by 1-0. The difference between the sides, Hannant's penalty after just 5 minutes. Matty Ward going into the back of Josh Williams. Woking have hardly seen the ball inside the opposition half. They are really struggling just to string a few passes together, yet to test the Gateshead goalkeeper at the moment, and already they are facing a long climb to get back into this game. 11 minutes gone, Gateshead 1, Woking 0. And what I didn't tell you, thanks for rejoining us on our online commentary. From time to time we will have updates every now and again on the BBC Sports website. Andrews, meanwhile, I think was booked. In fact, it's Harry's has been booked.
Harry's has been booked, I think.
Why he has been booked, I honestly could not tell you.
No. There was a melee of players just going for the ball. Whether it was something that was said, whether it was one of the tackles caught a bit of the player, we don't know.
Things just not going well at all for Woking so far in this game. As Woking just tried to keep a high line. At the back is Vincent, just nods the ball out, almost rocking on his heels. And Balaoun, one of 3 at the back for Gateshead, takes the throw, takes it short towards Newton. Lovely turn from him. Whelan dinks the ball towards the edge of the box. Hannant into Newton, back on this near side with Grayson inside the Gateshead, inside the Woking half, down this near side, dangerous cross coming in. Harries reacts quickly, clears first time, backs towards Hannant. Gateshead looking for a second, and they have a corner. It's complete domination so far from Gateshead.
It is, and you're seeing one team that seems high on confidence and no little skill as well. And Woking, the players are always trying, but it's obviously low on confidence and trying to work out how they can get their way back into this game and begin to get a bit of a toehold in it.
Whelan this time takes it short towards the near post, and there's another chance for Gateshead, and on the end of that was Orsina. And his shot loops over the bar. Gateshead 1, Woking 0. Gateshead lying 4th at the moment, but their form coming into this game has been a little mixed. Just 1 win in the last 5 league games, and that was quite an emphatic win against Maidenhead United, beating them 5-0 away from home, their biggest victory of the season. But in fact they lost their last game here, going down 1-0 to Rochdale. And now Newton is through, almost 1-on-1 with Jääskeläinen, and he buries it into the left-hand corner. It was a beautifully measured pass, picking out Newton, getting ahead of the Woking backline, stepped into the area, and with great composure buries it beyond Jääskeläinen. It's more bad news for Woking. They are now 2-0 down inside 15 minutes.
Yeah, well worked goal again, but very simple, right through the middle there, and ball was flicked on. Newton was away, got a yard ahead of the defenders and slotted it home really well, and 2-0 down. Really challenging stuff for Woking, really challenging. And any sort of Vincent Effiong bounce has sort of that will have been dissipated now in these first 15 minutes.
Woking struggles are really continuing to pile on them right now. And after that rallying cry from Ben Turner this week, what are the fans thinking right now as Hannon drifts the ball? It goes across the face of goal. There was nobody there. It was far too heavy. And Woking at the moment are certainly rocking 2-0 down. But that finish from Newton, it was a great one, wasn't it?
Oh no, it's a good finish, and he was through, and he slotted it into the corner really neatly, and a good goal.
And Gateshead understandably buzzing right now. Asina slips, he's inside the box, forced away from goal. Exchanges passes with Whelan, wins the ball back. Here's Whelan again, down the right hand side, halfway into the Gateshead half. Cleared by Woking, still inside the Woking half. And Gateshead come forward once again, just playing the ball around with confidence, as you would rightly expect. And they're coming forward now once again. More danger this for Woking as Wheeler drifts the ball in. Great clearance from Dyche as he was running back towards his own goal and managed to clear superbly. But at the moment, Woking are in pieces.
They're not playing well. They're not playing well, and Gateshead are playing very well.
Here's Belaoun, taps it into Newton, down the right hand side. But Woking finally have some respite through Andrews. The angled ball is far too short though for Lewis. And Gateshead pick up again with Hannons, drills a ball in. It may have just taken a slight deflection off Max Dyche, it's difficult to say, but Jääskeläinen was right behind it anyway. Woking trailing by 2-0. Floodlights beating down here at the Gateshead International Stadium. And what they need right now, Woking, is just an attempt at goal. They just need something just to raise their spirits, because at the moment we've seen very, very little, if anything, from them so far.
Yeah, and I think, as we were just saying, a team low on confidence, and then to be 2-0 down, it's as if they really haven't been able to get going. And it's not only in defence, but they've had a couple of misplaced passes. But here's Lewis with a bit of space.
It's up against Hannett, cleared first time by Grayson. Yeah, it's not looking good this, I'm afraid, Adrian, because Woking now are trailing by 2-0, and you have to say it was a very good goal as well. A beautiful pass from midfield. It split the Woking defence. Terrell Newton running through with the Jääskeläinen to beat, and he picked his spot beautifully with a powerful finish inside Jääskeläinen's right hand post. Woking really struggling to get any momentum going in this game so far, and they just need somehow just to build up some confidence, at least get a shot on target, anything at the moment. They are having some possession in the Gateshead half as we speak, but it is looking like a long way back for them right at the moment, Adrian. Things of course can change, it is still relatively early, but the news isn't great so far, I'm afraid. It's Gateshead 2, Woking 0. Just have a pause in play with Owen Mason, the keeper on loan for Gateshead, joining them from Mansfield Town. Andrews using some good skill, shrugs off a tackle. The pass was meant for Ward, and but for that interception on the edge of the box, Ward could have been in. Closest chance to an opening for Woking so far. Yeah,
that was the first offensive attacking threat really from Woking. Andrews did really well, and as you say, it was exactly the right ball through to Ward, and Gateshead just about intercepted it, but that was more promising from Woking.
Next Tuesday will be the first anniversary for Michael Doyle in charge of Woking. 44 league games, 13 wins in that time. As Gateshead are just penalised on the edge of the working box. The foul by Orsini. And it has been a tough spell, certainly for Michael and the management team, but he certainly succeeded in his first objective last season, and that was keeping the side up. But they have faced, and we heard from Ben Turner, the difficulties that Woking faced, certainly during pre-season, and they are mitigating circumstances, aren't they?
They are, but I think Woking started with young players. I think, and the reason for that was really that too many of last season's players were injured and they were older, and it was a decision to go with youth. And the trouble is, if things don't go well with young players, they're not often as resilient. Some are, but they're often not as resilient as the older players who've been there and done it. So now there's a real look to get in a bit of experience. Alan Judge, Ini Effiong, and so on, alongside the others, and just to try to, I think, shore up, settle the ship.
Booty with an early ball towards Hannon, skips to the byline, drills the ball back, shot comes in from Newton, blocked by the legs of a Woking defender, and Woking escaped that time. Lightning break, great pass from Booty. Woking almost caught out again. Dyche almost an ever present, tries to pick out Vincent down the far side. It's with Andrews though, spins, gets it to Judge, puts his foot on the ball, then plays it out towards the left hand side. Coming in is Andrews. Ward inside the box, so it's Effiong. As Vincent's cross is cut out for a throw down the far side. Woking finally managing to get a few players up front. Almost, we are just beyond the halfway point in the first half. Here's Vincent. Drills the ball in towards the penalty spot, headed away by Hannett, only as far as Dyche. Plays it first time towards his near side, and Lewis up against Grayson, drills the ball in, great cross too, but how did Hannon get across there? And he may have caught that ball flush in the face at the expense of a corner. Well, it looks as though it's knocked him flat out.
Yeah, mate. Referee just going.
I think he needs a moment here.
He is moving, so he's not. I don't think he's unconscious, but he obviously did catch him in the face. But that was again a bit better for Woking, just beginning to have a bit of pressure and pressurise the Gateshead penalty area.
Alan's okay, so it's taken 23 minutes, but Woking have their first corner, and Judge will be taking this little swing away from goal. Plenty of men forward for Woking. Ward is the furthest one inside the 6-yard box, stood next to Mason, the Gateshead goalkeeper. Swung in by Judge. It's a deep one, but the corner from Judge actually went out, and that's a waste, and that just sums up their afternoon so far. Orsini, the quick break, Newton peeling through, but the offside flag goes up. He just mistimed his run, and the flag on the far side goes up against him.
Yeah, again, break at pace by Gateshead there, but it was definitely offside.
Judge flights one forward, flashes up the head of Ward, tries to find Effiong, and Effiong has just had nothing whatsoever to work with so far during this game. A player with so much experience, had a very good season with Dagenham and Redbridge, scoring 24 goals before he's moved to Braintree Town. He's a player that Woking, of course, know well, back here for his third spell. As Michael Doyle tries to freshen things up in the attacking third. Gateshead just taking a little breather, just stroking the ball between themselves inside the centre circle. Balaoun. We'll have another update with BBC Surrey very shortly. Well, I thought we were going to have an update, but I don't think we will, as Effiong is almost in on a loose pass and is thumped away by Mason as Effiong just clapping there, just trying to rouse his teammates.
Just hearts lifted for a little bit of Woking fans there, just as that pass back, and Effiong was on it, but it was well cleared in the end by Gateshead.
Well, there's no doubt that Woking have been badly shaken up, conceding those 2 goals inside 15 minutes, but they are looking better now, enjoying possession more. Chickson getting the ball back from Vincent, still inside the Woking half. Harries has Lewis as an option. In fact, the pass goes between Akinola and Lewis, and Mason playing the ball out for Gateshead. Just puts his foot on the ball 2 or 3 times, and the game certainly has slowed down in the last 2 or 3 minutes, which I think will of course come as a relief to Woking, but they are lightning quick on the break as they try to pierce the Woking defence once again. Lovely turn from Harries, clips the ball down the far side, backpedaling though is Williams, wins it back for Gateshead. Back come Woking, a little scrappy at the moment, and Gateshead pick up once again with Joe Grayson, allowed just to come forward inside the centre circle, lifts it left-footed down the far side. The mistymed jump from Vincent, but it did skim off his head, so he did his job getting the ball away from Williams. And Jean Belaoun with the throw, level with the 18-yard line, down the right-hand side. Newton, oh, lovely turn, clips in the cross, could now fall for Hannant, tries to control the ball, goes down, oh, another penalty's been given. That looked really soft. Geish stuck out a leg, but it did look as though Hannant contacted the outstretched leg and went down. The penalty has been given, a second one this afternoon, and if this is converted, it could be a third for Gateshead.
Yeah, and even this early in the game, you then say that it's always said that the third goal is key. So let's see what happens here. But it's Woking, haven't been able to lift themselves at all in this very poor first half hour, and almost anything that could go wrong has. And ball bobbling around. No one was decisive enough to really clear it.
Well, Jääskeläinen was close with the first penalty, diving the right way. What will Hannah do this time? It went to Jääskeläinen's right with the first penalty. 28 minutes gone. Woking already facing a tall order. 2-0 down. Hannant, stuttering run up again, goes the other way. Jääskeläinen dived the right way once again, but Hannant struck the ball into the bottom corner, and this is something of a horror show now for Woking. They are 3-0 down with only half an hour gone.
Yeah, I think horror show is the word. It's been a dreadful first half hour. Everything Woking has tried to do to get back into the game has just, they've been off it really in pretty much every aspect of the game this first half. So it's and now 3-0 down. It's going to be, well, it's a huge fact. You don't want to say just playing for self-respect, because teams can come back, but it's a huge challenge now for Woking to get something out of this game.
And did you think it was a penalty, Ian?
No one really seemed to complain. I mean, it's like, it's an athletics track. We're a long way away, but there weren't any complaints. I suspect it was. It's another soft one though. Probably just catching a player, quick feet, and it looked like, I think it was probably Max Dyche who did the tackle, but it's.
And now Oseni charging down the far side. Another lightning break. He gets inside Harries, inside the box, piling forward at Gateshead. The pass is intercepted by Akinola. Hannah was almost in at this near side. Lovely pass, picks out Warman. Near the byline, clips the ball in. Oh, 2 players collide. Could be number 4. It's cleared desperately by Woking. I think it was Dyche or Harris running into Jääskeläinen. The ball was spilled inside the 6-yard box, and by the skin of their teeth, Woking clear.
That was skin of the teeth. It was uncertainty there. Jääskeläinen seemed uncertain coming to the ball, and this is really the Gateshead fans are really obviously cock a hoop, really getting behind their team now, and it seems though Woking are really struggling to keep their composure. Half time can't come soon enough, and there's still 15 minutes to go till that comes.
It really is difficult to know, Ian, how Woking can recover from this. I think at the moment you've almost, it might sound like a strange thing to say, but the score at the moment is almost academic in a way, because what Woking have to do is just somehow get themselves back into this game and avoid this becoming even more embarrassing. But here's a chance for Lewis, clips the ball in, it's a high one just beyond the 6-yard box, doesn't quite fall for Effiong. Akinola tried to keep up the pressure on the Gateshead defence, but they clear. I'm not sure if the point I'm trying to make makes any sense, because somehow, and I don't know how you do this, but you've somehow got to blot out the scoreline.
I do get what you're saying, and I think some of it now is, as you're saying, it's 3-0 down, and you think the game has gone.
Lewis clips in another cross. He's switched flanks down the right hand side. Not a bad cross either, but Gateshead are more than equal to meet that. And Mason yet to be tested, closed down by Effiong, clears right footed up towards the halfway line, clipped upwards by Newton over the halfway line, almost finds Orsini, can't get the ball to stick, and Woking are stroking the ball about a little more. And in fact, before that third goal was conceded, Ian, Woking had improved and were looking more threatening.
They had improved, I think, but it's I think it sometimes is managing to work away to get in a half decent performance. I think the result is probably, you'd say, beyond them, but turning it around to get a half decent performance, maybe get a goal or two, and just build some confidence moving forward. That's the key now, I think.
And Woking have actually won a corner, a long range effort, takes a deflection. Small crumbs of comfort for Woking right now. And at the moment, you're not quite sure where this goal might be coming from. Goal scoring certainly has been a massive issue for them lately. No goals in the last 3 league games. No goals, 4 in 5. Oh, it's a neat pick out towards Harris, controls it well, shoots straight at Mason, but that was a well-worked corner, and Harris controlled it well, and that's Woking's first attempt on target.
Yeah, it was a well-worked corner, as you say, and Harris was on his own on the edge. Judge found him really well, and he had a chance to steady himself, take a shot which was on target, but well saved.
And at least Woking have had an attempt on target, and it's these small steps that might just help Woking, but they are losing, and losing heavily, and they're under pressure again with Orsini. In fact, the ball was meant for Orsini inside the box. It was Williams with a charging run, clipped by Booty, beautiful pass, picks out Hannett inside the box, drills the ball in, the whistle goes, offside flag goes up against Hannett. But these arcing runs, especially down the near side, the Gateshead left, have really troubled Woking during the first half.
They have, and I think in both Whelan and Booty, Gateshead have two of the best midfielders in the league, and I love their mobility. I love the way they sort of work together and they interchange and so on, and the movement has been excellent from Gateshead this afternoon.
Before kick-off, Woking were just 1 point above the bottom 4. They're one of 6 teams near the foot of the table, just separated by by 3 points. And you have to go back to August the 24th when Woking last won away from home. That certainly does not look like happening this afternoon, and we're already saying that with 10 minutes to go before half time. If you've just joined us, Gateshead 3, Woking 0. Gateshead looking really lively and busy as the move from them just breaks down on the edge of the Woking box. Lewis, who has played well, threading the ball forward. It's too heavy though for Effiong. But if you are looking for any crumbs of comfort, and they are hard to find right now in Nicholson, I would say that Denon Lewis, I think, has looked quite good, quite positive down both flanks, putting in 2 or 3 decent looking crosses, but you really are struggling to find any positives so far. Gateshead looking hungry for more as well, as it's drilled down this near side by Whelan towards Hannon, picks it towards Warman. There's going to be a goal kick. Good defending from Max Dyche. Woking 3, well, if only it was Woking 3, but it's Gateshead 3, Woking 0.
Yeah, and it's as I say, we're just seeing out the time to half time now, and just hoping that Woking get through to the half time and somehow recenter themselves, somehow look at a plan to minimise damage in the next half, and maybe even work their way a little bit back into the game.
Booty with a header for Gateshead, volleyed forward by Whelan, but most of the Gateshead players were still inside their own half, so they couldn't make the most of that opportunity. Sky clearance from Woking at least gives the home side a throw, and the home fans are going to be absolutely delighted with the first half they've seen from their players. They look every inch of a side pushing for the playoffs once again this season, lying in 4th spot, and they've won 7 out of 10 at home. Performances at home though haven't been the best lately, but they are certainly a tough proposition, and so Woking have found this afternoon, conceding 2 penalties. Great strike from Newton as well, and that's the difference between them. Akinola gets it to Dyche, lifts it over the halfway line. Lovely cushioned header from Effiong, looking for Ward, tries to get the ball back, might fall for Andrews, spins now on the far side towards Lewis. It's not getting better, in fact it's worse now, Adrian. It's Gateshead 3, Woking 0. Woking conceding their second goal of the second penalty of the afternoon. I'll just break for a moment there, Adrian, because Effiong almost had half a chance to score back on his return to the club inside the 6-yard box. The ball just cannoned off his knees. He didn't really know much about it, but it was goal bound. But the Gateshead keeper Mason got behind it. But as I say, and Mason slips on the edge of the box as Effiong tries to wrestle the ball off him. So it's all happening at the moment. But the fact is, the bottom line is that Woking conceded their second penalty. Dyche with a tackle on Hannon. Hannon took the penalty himself. Jääskeläinen diving the right way, couldn't keep the ball out. So it has been a sorry first half for Woking so far. 39 minutes gone. Gateshead 3, Woking 0. Harries getting the ball down towards Chickson, and Judge gets it back towards Dyche. Squares it for Harries. 3 men up front for Woking at the moment, as Ward wins it, nods it down into the middle towards Effiong. Effiong just tries to cut off the path for Ratcliffe, and Woking pick up again just inside their own half. So Andrews calls for the ball, gets it to feet now. Good first touch, pokes it now down this right hand side towards Ward. Ward with lovely football, footwork, runs into Warman. The move breaks down. Grayson lifts the ball over the top. Oseni could get onto it, but it's headed away by Jääskeläinen, coming outside the area. And that lands towards Judge, who picks up once again. Closed down by Oseni. A wayward pass. Falls behind Chickson. But at the moment, Woking playing with 3 up front. In fact, a 4th player joining them now. Andrews. Almost with a 2-4-4 formation at the moment, Woking. That's how it seems.
Yeah, they're really pushing the players up, and it's just not. Jamie Andrews making a run there, and really disappointed not to have got the ball through.
And Bella wins it back for Gateshead, but they bring the ball back with Radcliffe, and Grayson left it towards the far side with Bella keeps it in play towards Newton down the right hand side, forced away from the box. Now with Booty onto the far side with Williams. Lovely dummy on the edge of the area now. Oseni clips it now wide towards Hannant. Controls the ball. The dummy from Grayson. Grayson tries to get a shot on target. Sliding in though is Akinola. Corner for Gateshead. And Ian Nicholson puffs his cheeks. Says it all, really.
Well, I think Woking defenders look like they're, having given away 2 penalties, they look so uncertain as players come up forward at them at the pace, nervous not to give away anymore another penalty or any other infringement, and they look, they really look nervous whenever Gateshead are coming at them.
Whelan drills a ball in, it bounces just outside the 6-yard box, and thankfully for Woking, they've got away with that one. Almost fell behind 2 or 3 players attacking the ball inside the 6-yard box, and it goes out across the running track on the far side. Well, it was a lovely winter's day when I arrived, Ian. Not that it's a bad day now, but there's that thin veil of cloud that we've had since kick-off that hasn't really moved much at all. But it is calm, it is still, but out on the pitch from a Woking perspective, certainly a very stormy one. Lovely control by Dennis Lewis, bursting inside the box. He could do with some support, but he wins a corner. And that, I think, just emphasises the point that I made a few minutes ago. I think for me, he has been our best player in the half.
He's done well, and most of the attacking threat has come down the wing, where he's switched wings during the half, but the wing he's been on has been where, it's all relative, but where any sort of Woking threat has come from has often gone through Denon Lewis. And that was a lovely ball out from defence over the defenders, and he was able to run through on that.
Now what can Woking do? It's bent in by Judge. Effiong almost got his head to it. It's still inside the box as Vincent tries to win it. Hooked away though by Whelan towards Oseni. Battling for it though is Lewis. And the ball just breaks into the Woking half and lands at the feet of Jääskeläinen into the final 2 minutes of the first half.
3-0-1.
And if you're a Woking fan and you're just joining us, then just take a moment to sit down, because the news is not great, I'm afraid. They are losing 3-0, 2 penalties from Hannant and an expertly taken goal from Newton. The difference between the sides. Not sure we're going to get too much injury time. I think it's just going to be 1 minute that's just going to be shown up on the board as Ward peels away down this right hand side, gathered by Judge with a spin in towards Vincent. Now seems to be playing more of a central role. Andrews can't keep that ball in down this near side, so the formation has certainly been tinkered around with Vincent now more of a central position. We had Lewis switching flanks as well. He still seems to be down the left hand side right now, and as I said just a moment ago, we just have 1 minute to go in injury time, and we are into that now. With Woking visibly shell-shocked.
Yeah, I think shell shocked is a good term. I think they've right from that first penalty, it's been on the back foot, and beginning, I would say, the last 5 or 10 minutes, it's settled down just a little bit. But to concede 2 penalties and also be opened up on 2 or 3 occasions is it really hasn't. It's hard to imagine how the half could have gone worse, really, from a Woking perspective.
Now Ward just went down for a moment as if he'd been winded, but he's back on his feet as Newton flicks the ball over the halfway line, met by the head of Harris. Josh Williams turns into the working half. He's got great pace. Sticking to him though is Denon Lewis, and he still is. Williams back to Bellahoon. And that's the end of the first half. A first half to forget for Woking as their troubles on the road very much continue. They are trailing by 3-0 at the break. And going behind in the worst possible fashion inside 5 minutes, conceding a penalty. Ward with the foul. Hannon took that. Jääskeläinen diving the right way, he could not keep that out. Gateshead kept up the pressure, and then after 15 minutes they made it 2. A through ball, caught out the Woking defence. Newton showing great pace, burst into the box and rifled it low and hard beyond Jääskeläinen. By that time Woking had barely been in the Gateshead half, but were just gradually getting themselves back into the game when they then conceded their third. It did appear a soft wood to me at the time. Dyche sticking out an outstretched leg. Down went Hannon. Another spot kick. Hannon got himself up, took the kick himself. Went the other way this time did Hannon with his second spot kick. Jääskeläinen again diving the right way, trying to keep that one out, but that was Gateshead's third goal. It could have been 4. Cross coming in from Warman. Jääskeläinen colliding with one of his defenders. That could have ended up in the back of the net. Woking though have at least had a couple of chances. Harris with an effort from a well-worked corner on the edge of the box, completely unmarked. Kept the shot low, easily gathered by Mason, and Ini Affiong making his debut today inside the 6-yard box. May not have not known too much about it, but as the ball came into the box, it cannoned off his knees and straight into the arms of Mason. So shell shock was a word I used. I'm not sure if you could think of anything, possibly something stronger to describe that first half, but given the fact, Ian, that it has been such a long time now that Woking haven't won away from home, where does that first 45 minutes rank this season?
It's been one of the poorest, most one-sided halves of the season, I think, and right from the word go when Woking conceded that penalty, and it really they just haven't been able to get any rhythm. As you say, a couple of half chances, but nothing serious, and 2 penalties. It's hard to imagine when you're struggling for confidence. When you've got fans who are also, wanting to look for a bit of momentum. It's hard to imagine a half that probably everything could go wrong, did go wrong, and everything could happen negatively did, and so they. From now on, it's about the performance. It's about turning it around, trying to get a rhythm to show that the side can move forward and compete in games.
Ian, thank you so much. We will have an update shortly with BBC Radio Surrey, and once we've done that, we'll have a little break ourselves, and we'll be back for full second half commentary online with BBC Sport.
going to the loo.
All right, Ian.
I've got some half-time scores for you, starting first with the Premier League.
All right, Cam.
Castle 1, Leicester 0. In the Championship, Middlesbrough 1, Millwall 0. And Swansea 2, Sunderland 1.
When you said yesterday, I was looking thinking.
In the National League, Aldershot 0, Halifax 2. Altrincham 1, Sutton United 0. Barnet 4, Ebbsfleet 0. Dagenham, Redbridge and Rochdale 0 each. Files 1, Eastleigh 0. Maidenhead and Solihull 0 each. Oldham 1, Middlestone 2. Southend and Hartlepool 0 each. Tamworth 0, York 1. Yeovil 1, Braintree 1. And Forest Green, Boston United is evening kick-off.
I'm afraid, Adrian, it's been our first half to forget for Woking. They are trailing by 3 goals to 0, and they went off to the worst possible start, just conceding their first goal after just 5 minutes. It was a penalty. Matty Ward going into the back of Josh Williams. Luke Hannant struck the ball beyond Jääskeläinen. Then it was 2 after just 15 minutes. A wonderful through ball piercing the Woking defence. On the end of it was Newton, strode into the area and rifled a powerful low drive beyond Jääskeläinen. He could do absolutely nothing about that. By that point, Woking had barely been inside the Gateshead half, and just as they were getting a foothold in the game with at least some possession, they then conceded their third. It did appear a little soft at first glance. Max Dyche stretched out his leg. It looked as though Luke Hannant just ran into the outstretched leg, went down. The referee pointed to the spot, and Luke Hannant stepped up and took the penalty himself to score his second of the game. Went to Jääskeläinen's left. Jääskeläinen dived the right way once again, but could not keep the ball out. So Woking definitely now just playing for respect. Now you would think they did have a couple of chances towards the end of the first half. Keane Harris with a well-worked corner found some space on the edge of the box, drilled a low effort that was easily saved by Gateshead keeper Owen Mason, and Ini Offiong returning to the club for a third time. Almost saw the ball cannon off his knees and into the net, but it has been such a sorry first half from Woking. It'll be up there as one of their poorest performances of the season. So I think it's safe to say, even at half-time, Adrian, that you can't really see a way back for Woking, but stranger things have happened. It's 3-0 for Gateshead against Woking at half-time.
I didn't realise Paul got dropped away as well.
I got away from. It's weird, wasn't it? Last week's to go for this week's. Could be attitude, couldn't it? Yeah. It's a short time, mate. Could be really better.
Alright, I'm going to do the half-time scores.
Enjoy the second half, so I'll see you. I'll come down here. Yeah.
Just to give you an update on Lewis Taylor, the Farsley Celtic captain, apparently he's been discharged from hospital and he's now back at home and he's waiting to have some more tests carried out. He's certainly on the That's great news.
Failed for winning 1-0 at home to Eastleigh. It is Aldershot 0, FC Halifax 2, Altrincham winning 1-0 at home to Bournemouth.
Just before we start the second half, we've got a birthday request to read out, and that's a happy birthday to Mike Peterson. And according to his 6-year-old nephew Rory, he has to be at least 40 something. But apparently he's only 36. So a happy birthday from everybody involved at Gateshead FC to Mike Peterson. And we've also got a welcome today, Washington United Blacks, who are on their Christmas party this afternoon. So have a Merry Christmas to you and everybody at Gateshead FC. Just to let you know that the 50-50 draw for today has been claimed, and that was ticket number 50301. But the one from Tuesday's game is still outstanding. That's 49371.
Welcome back to the North East. We're at the Gateshead International Stadium. Gateshead leading Woking by 3-0 in the National League. Both sides are now back out Woking first. And I'd like to think what Michael Doyle and Ben Turner would have said to his players at half-time. Would it have been the rough treatment, or would it have been the collective armour on the shoulder? But in any event, they are back out. No changes for either side, so we'll run through those changes very shortly. But certainly from a working perspective, it surely can't be more of the same, because the way Gateshead are playing this afternoon, they look as though they're in the mood. Well, it's Woking start positively with an early ball down the inside left channel, looking for the run of Effiong, and that's straight through to Owen Mason. So Woking then lining up with Jaskalainen. And Woking did start with 4 at the back. Vincent making his debut at left back. Dyche and Harris in the middle. Chickson making up the back 4. In midfield, Akinola, Andrews, Lewis, who I thought was their best player during the first half, and Ward and Judge also in the heart of the midfield with Effiong up front. Here's Hannett, he's been an absolute menace this afternoon for Gateshead. Early cross, cleared by Woking. Sliding challenge comes in from Akinola. And that just gives Woking a little relief as the home side, again having a relatively good season so far, come forward once again through Radcliffe. To Belaun, misplaced ball, easily cut out by Vincent, goes down, looks for a free kick, nothing given. And that just allows Belaun to charge forward down this right hand side, cuts in, just outside the box. Now with Newton, central position. Outstretched leg from Asani, keeps the move alive. Cross comes in, could be number 4. It is number 4, the goal counts. Asani with the goal. The early cross from Whelan inside 3 minutes. It's almost a carbon copy of the first. Woking concede early once again. Now they're 4-0 down.
Well, that's looking. I had to go for a walk at half time just to clear my head after the first half, and that was just too easy. Just opportunities to clear the ball, and in the end, Oseni on his own in the 6-yard box just stabbed it home, and 4-0. And Woking playing for pride now, and really. Whatever they were hoping for from the half-time talk, that wasn't it.
And sometimes, Ian, when you do come across a one-sided contest, which to all intents and purposes is over by half-time, the side with the healthy lead sometimes back off and just stroll through the rest of the game, but that is a worrying sign to see from a working perspective, to see how well and how positive Gateshead started the second half.
Well, they're probably thinking they want more. They want more, and they're pushing for more, and they're playing with a freedom and a confidence that being 3 or 4-0 up brings.
Do you think Michael Doyle was right not to make any changes at half time?
Well, I think his options are limited, and I think looking at the bench, just seeing what the options are. I mean, Tom Lee, he's young, coming on. Harry Buterman is experienced. I mean, he has a lot to give this team, but 4-0 down, and I see Jermaine Anderson now doing a little bit of a warm-up, and he's ready to come on.
Woking with an opportunity to come forward. Effiong flicks the ball into the box. He goes down, along with Grayson, I think. And might be Radcliffe, actually, who came off worse. Still on his knees inside the box. I think he just needs a moment or two, and he'll be absolutely fine. I think it's Grayson. I'm sure it's Grayson. No, it's Hannant. Almost got there in the end, didn't I?
I think the only thing, I was just thinking there, there's a bit of a clash. You think, oh no. But the only thing that could make the afternoon really worse for Woking at the moment would be to lose a player. Often teams get frustrated, but suddenly Matt Ward's in.
Yeah, and he had half a chance because on that occasion, Gateshead tried to build from inside their own box, and they were squeezed, forcing the error. And as you say, Ward had that half chance from a tight angle on the edge of the 6-yard box. Rare mistake from Gateshead. Booty under no pressure. Just launches the ball straight out for a throw. So we are going to see a couple of changes for Woking, with Gorman and Anderson coming on. Vincent is off, and so is Judge. So those early changes, perhaps not coming at half time, but they certainly have now. But very much damage limitation territory now for Woking, now that they have conceded the 4th. Oseni grabbing his 9th of the season. Lofted towards Andrews, clips the ball into the 6-yard box. Underneath it, unchallenged, is Owen Mason. Had the one save, well, the 2 saves during the first half, neither of which really troubled him though.
That was a double substitution for Woking.
So I'm just confirming, Judge and Vincent off.
Number 20, Alan Judge, to be replaced.
Anderson coming on, and Gorman coming on for Woking after 51 minutes. How do you think those changes will affect the formation, or are they just like for like switches?
I think it'll probably be similar. I think Gorman, plays a similar sort of game to the one Alan Judge was playing, and I think Judge, of all the players, he possibly did quite well.
Lewis almost run ahead of the ball, gathers, clips it towards Andrews on the edge of the box. The short pass couldn't quite find Akinola. He then sticks the legs out and commits a foul on Hannant. That'll be a free kick for Gateshead. So the Gateshead lineup, by the way, which I didn't give you at the start of the second half. Mason, the goalkeeper, back 3 of Radcliffe, Balahoon and Grayson. Hannant down the left, Williams down the right, Warman, Booty and Whelan across the middle. Newton and Oseni have been the ones who have terrorised the Woking defence up front, and both of them are now on the score sheet. As Oseni almost breaking through the Woking defence. Casual play from Woking again. Here's Williams, couple of step overs, bursts into the box, runs into Harries. He's not going to get anything for that though. Goal kick for Woking. Already 4-0 down, and it's not something I actually want to do at this stage, but we might even be looking at what could be the worst defeat of the season. We hope we don't have to have that conversation.
Yes, fact, I mean, let's be honest, we could be. I mean, that's the reality. It's 4-0 down on 54, but I think to me it's not even about the score, it's about Woking beginning to sort of put some pressure and put a performance in here.
Akinola tries to pick out Lewis down on this near side. Now did Williams actually keep the ball in play as he was trying to usher the ball out? He was. So Woking have a throw.
We were saying earlier, I think Denon Lewis.
Early cross from Anderson, headed away. Oseni gets up the ball on the edge of the box, poked forward by Booty. Newton goes down. Gorman sticking out the leg. The referee says it's okay, carry on. The turn from Ward doesn't come off, and all of a sudden Gateshead break once again as Oseni slows the move right down. Now Warman just running in from the left hand side, spins, gets it out towards Grayson. Hannon makes a run towards the edge of the working box, but it could fall for Newton instead. Clips the ball back, here's Whelan, shoots! Jaskalainen rooted to the spot, but it flashes past his near post and out for a goal kick. Just a quick word from you, Ian.
Yeah, it's just again just a rerun really of the first half. It's Woking's defence look shell shocked. They look nervous, having given away 2 penalties. Woking struggling to get any sort of rhythm.
Adrian, it's got worse, I'm afraid, because just like the first half, they conceded early. They now trail by 4 goals to nil. Gateshead are hungry. They are looking for more goals. This time it was Callum Whelan's cut back towards Owen Oseni, the leading goal scorer for Gateshead. He scored his 9th goal of the season, getting it beyond Jaskalainen from close range. Michael Doyle has made a couple of changes early in the second half, but you now just feel as though it is damage limitation. It's Gateshead 4, Woking 0. Gateshead looking for a 5th, and that time it's Williams, first time cross, balloons over the bar. And as you say, and I think we touched on the point during the first half, the score is now academic. It's all about how hard these players work, how much they care, how much they apply themselves.
Yeah, it's about professional pride, and there are players out there who've had long careers and are proud players, and they won't want to be on the end of a 4-0 or worse drubbing. They'll want to play for pride. They'll dig in, but it's there's no escaping. It hasn't been a good performance.
I think whatever happens now, it can't repair the damage that has been done during the course of this game, and you just wonder what the reaction is going to be following not just the score as it stands, but also the performance. Walker is waiting to come on. He'd be the 3rd player to come on for Woking. Dyche, normally very, very steady. Ward drops short towards the halfway line. Woking at least stringing a few passes together. The angled crossfield pass from Harry's far too long. May well have been meant for Akinola or even Ward, but in any case, it was far too long for either of them. Out for a goal kick it goes. The substitution will now take place just short of the hour mark. And it's Andrews who's coming off, looking very forlorn. Head bowed, shoulders hunched. He's off. Replaced by Walker after 57 minutes.
Yeah, and to be fair to him, he acknowledged the fans, clapped the fans. He came off. You really got to do that, but it's and well, we're all fans really, but the fans who've come up today will be so disheartened by what they've seen and by the score line. And I looked over earlier. They're in the same stand, but it is segregated at the far end. Probably 30 or 40 Woking fans, I would think.
And I've had nothing to cheer about, really, in all honesty. Here they come. Woking down the right-hand side. Effiong chasing the ball. Won't get it, though. And Gateshead build smartly from the back. With Grayson turns in field, is allowed to run at least almost half the length of the field. The move breaks down quickly, and Lewis, who has offered one bright spark at least for Woking, picks up, gets it to Lewis, pokes it towards Chickson. Gorman infield now to Harries. Woking building inside their own half. Lovely turn from Anderson inside the centre circle. Then dissects two Gateshead players, but only finds Grayson. Gets it wide to Hannant and Booty. Gateshead FA Trophy winners. And in fact, Booty scored in that victory, which ultimately went to penalties. Here's Gorman looking for support. Really heavy touch from Effiong, but he does get it to Akinola, Gorman, and Harris. As Woking work the ball around. Lewis, he's certainly playing with pride. We'll give him that. I think that's fair. Lewis with the black gloves turns it back towards Gorman. As Gateshead are quite happy just to sit back and allow Woking to come at them. As it's pinged towards the feet of Anderson on this near side. The pass from Chickson. I think he was expecting Lewis to run ahead of him. That didn't work out. And that's just going to be a goal kick for Gateshead. But I think we're now at this point in the game, Ian, where Gateshead not tiring, but I think they're now, because they are leading 4-0, we know what they're capable of on the counter-attack, and maybe this is how they're going to play the rest of the game, as Orsini will come off.
Yeah, just look at, I'm just watching down there as well. Dennis Lewis, I thought he was coming off, but no, he's changing his boots. I think maybe the grass is, maybe the pitch is getting just that little bit wetter and these longer studs. But yeah, you're right. It's the game has settled down, and Woking, you know, they're stroking about a bit more and at least in some sort of control of the game. But it has to be. You have to say it's too little, too late, really.
The home side break forward. Angle ball from the left-hand side, too strong for Newton, and Jeskalainen clears over the halfway line, straight onto the head of Belahoon. Hannett slides in ahead of Akinola. Whelan spins and gets the ball out onto this left-hand side. Early cross comes in from Williams beyond the far post. Too heavy. That's going to be out for a goal kick. And the way Woking started the second half, I think there were genuine concerns that they could be on the end of a hiding, but they seem to have calmed down. Gateshead perhaps have eased back slightly themselves. Effiong tries to win the ball for Woking. The quick ball over the top. Malcolm is obstructed by Harries, and Harries was booked in the first half, so he has to be careful.
My heart was in my mouth a little bit, but the referee hasn't seen fit to give any sort of card for that. But it was obviously a very professional or deliberate, however you want to phrase it, blocking of the Gateshead player.
Well, the cross comes in from Whelan, almost catching out Woking and me actually, but it's going to be a throw for Gateshead on this near side. Darkness has now fallen here in the northeast. Chickson boots the ball out for a corner.
You have to say, I mean, if you look at the Woking players, the individual players, there's no shortage of actual experience and talent in this Woking side. It's just today, well, and in recent weeks, but particularly today, they have underperformed.
O'Connor comes in, cleared away by Effiong, just outside the 6-yard box. Balahoon gets it back to Hannant inside the centre circle. As Woking trying to push forward beyond their own penalty area, keeping a high line. Newton down this near side, calling for the ball, but he's back with Owen Mason, now with Booty. Here's Grayson, one of the 3 central defenders, back towards Mason as Whelan drops short, comes towards Dyche, landing forward, got a shove in the back from Malcolm, the substitute. In case you're not aware, when Gateshead played Farnsley Celtic during the week in the FA Trophy, the game was abandoned when the Farnsley Celtic captain Lewis Turner suffered a suspected cardiac arrest, and thanks to the brilliant work of the paramedics and medical staff, he was actually resuscitated. And we just heard some wonderful news at half-time that he has now been discharged from hospital and is recovering well. And that was met with a warm round of applause from the fans here.
Yeah, often it's underestimated the work that physio, I know the Woking physio, Steve Stelling a few years ago, saved the life of a young lad, and those, you can always have those dreadful things happen in games, and physios really have to be on their mettle, and that's great news about the player being okay.
Absolutely.
And being discharged. But your worst nightmare, it probably only happens, might never happen, or once or twice in a career, but it's so important.
Chickson lays the ball off for Lewis down this left-hand side, onto his right foot, now he's left, bends the ball away from goal towards the far side. Ward with a scuffed effort on the volley. It was Walker, my apologies, Walker with the scuffed effort, bounces straight into the arms of Mason.
No, he didn't catch that cleanly, but again, it's all relative, but Denon Lewis did well again there, and that was a good teasing cross in, but in the end came to nothing.
Just seeing the moon begin to peer through the thin cloud above the stand on the far side. The offside flag's going to go up against Hannant, but these angled balls from Gateshead, they've really troubled. Well, it happened during the first half, especially down the left-hand side. Hannant, very, very quick, very tricky. Williams as well, down on the opposite flank as well. They certainly have a lot of pace this side, but they can blow hot and cold, and just looking at how they're playing today makes you wonder why they have been struggling recently. Carl Magner, the new manager, has been in charge for just 8 games, only winning 3 of them, despite their high position in the table at the moment. Mason just taking his time to clear, gets to the halfway line as the wind just picks up for a moment. Malcolm can't keep the ball in play on this near side, but they beat Maidenhead United 5-0 away from home. Earlier in the season they were hammered 7-1 at Dagenham and Redbridge. The one thing I think you can say about Gateshead is they are entertaining. You normally see goals with them. They are normally goals, either for or against them. And Woking are looking for one at the moment. Denon Lewis, he's been brilliant. Look, cross comes into the area behind Ward. Bent in by Gorman. Oh, it's missed by Mason completely. And unfortunately for Woking, Effiong couldn't get on it either, and he just hoofed long, bounces a couple of times, and straight back towards Jääskeläinen. But I'm not sure what Mason was trying to do there at that cross.
No, maybe we're seeing a few hints as to why they maybe do concede quite a few goals, because there have been a few moments they've been put under very little pressure, but when they have, they do look as though they're a little bit nervy and vulnerable.
Chickson winning the ball, but plays it backwards towards Harries. Oh, it's a short pass towards Jääskeläinen, and Malcolm charging in almost rolls over Jääskeläinen's back, trying to win the ball. Malcolm out on the far side now to Hannant, second touch, drills the ball in. Malcolm with his back to goal wins the corner. We're going to have another update with BBC Surrey after 69 minutes, probably the quietest period of the game in terms of goal mouth action. We'll just wait for this corner to be swept in. Gateshead leading by 4 goals to nil. Hannant with 2 penalties. Newton and Oseni with the goals. Cleared by Effiong at the near post. Everybody back inside their own half for Woking, understandably. Dry, chilly evening in the northeast. Woking looking at another defeat. It'd be their 7th away from home this season. Ball is pinged into the area. Malcolm spins, turns, and that just goes wide of the frame. With Woking still trailing by 4 goals to nil, but almost the substitute getting in on the act.
And you have to say, with 2 defenders around them, there's no way that a shot could have been got in there. In the end, it was comfortably over, but really should never have got the opportunity to get a shot there.
As Jaskalainen clears. Booty winning it ahead of Effiong. Hannant still inside his own half. Booty back to Grayson. He's got Ratcliffe next to him. Orange boots. Short pass to Booty. And Gateshead just playing the ball around very confidently. Lewis closing down Booty. Still finds Newton. Cuts in field. Now into the centre circle. Lovely possession from Gateshead. Playing from left to right. Short pass towards Hannant. Lovely move so far. Up against Dyche's Hannant. Plays a reverse pass towards Booty. Caught offside. Just mistimed his run. And here comes the next update from BBC Surrey. Well, it hasn't got worse, so that's a positive at least, Adrian. So it's still 4-0. Woking have stemmed the tide. It is the quietest phase of the game, so no clear opportunities to speak of until a moment ago when Gateshead could have added their 5th. Javan Malcolm has only been on for a few minutes inside the box. Lovely smart turn from him. Blasted the ball just wide of the frame of goal. Woking enjoying more possession, not really causing much danger up front, although Owen Mason did get himself in a bit of a tangle. The Gateshead goalkeeper with a cross that came in, got it all wrong, but Woking could not capitalise. So it's Woking still trailing by 4 goals to nil with 17 minutes to go. Late challenge coming in from Akinola, right into the back of Newton. Anderson, I apologise, with a tackle. Another tackle, another substitution for Gateshead, with Colquette coming on for Ben Warman. With a few of the fans around me getting on their feet to applaud the midfielder. Charlie Colquette, former Chelsea youth players, had spells with Vitesse Arnhem and Swedish side Östersund, once managed by Graham Potter. He's on. Meanwhile, that free kick for Gateshead came to nothing, as Ward coming forward now with 4 Gateshead players in pursuit. Does really well to get a throw out of that, does Matty Ward. Halfway inside the Gateshead half. And can Woking at least give the small number of Woking fans at least a consolation goal, at least something that they can take back down the road with them, because the journey home's going to be difficult enough as it is. Here's Hannant, comes in field now, and is drilled towards this near side, still outside the box. Whelan with his orange boots, back to Booty, plays it square, not a great ball. Williams with a lovely spin, gets a shove in the back from Lewis Walker, as Josh Williams is still down. May have just fallen awkwardly then. But this is a tale of two sides, one with bags of confidence, one with barely any.
With barely any. It's been a very hard watch to this afternoon, I must admit. And hoping with hope that things will turn, or that there'll be a dash of inspiration. But there's been very little. I mean, the players will always put in the effort, but that's what you expect. It's just whether it's effort, whether it's skill, whether it's confidence, it just hasn't worked for Woking this afternoon.
Do you think now, under the new ownership, that expectations are going to change? I know it's a difficult question to answer, Ian, but it's really difficult to know where Woking go. Is it just one bad day, or is there more of an underlying problem here?
Well, it's been a run of games, and we can tell from Ben Turner's interview that was played before the game that the management are under pressure. There's no doubt about that, and they will know that. And so, a performance like today isn't going to help that. But it's in the end, it's down to the club, really. I mean, I think the club are, Woking are always.
Shot comes to go, aren't they? Far side of the field there from Whelan, struck it on the volley, and it's kept up by Jaskalainen at the near post. Sorry to interrupt you there, but a Gateshead player went off. I think it was Bella-Un going off. I'm not sure who came on. I'm sure it was Bella-Un. In fact, he's still on the field, so we'll just have to check that for you. The Bella-Un is still on the field. We'll just have to check that one for you. But anyway, that shot coming in from Wheeler on the volley, another crossfield pass beyond the far post. Couldn't have struck it better. Kept it low. Jaskalainen did his job. But the damage in this game for Woking was done a long time ago. Certainly once the second goal went in after 15 minutes, you began to wonder if it was just going to be one of those days. Lewis, lovely ball into the area for Chickson, who tried to pick out Efiongo, looks up to the skies because he knew that had the ball arrived at his feet, he would have had a gilt-edged chance to score, but he's gone out for a corner. But once again, if there's one man to pick out from the Woking side today, it's Denon Lewis. He's been brilliant today. Yeah,
Denon Lewis has played well, and I think he interchanged with Chickson there was good, and it's just the final ball didn't quite make it, but that was one of Woking's brighter moments of this afternoon.
And that is one consolation the Woking fans can certainly take from the game. Gorman lining up this corner, raising his left arm. Really deep one. Couple of players go down. The referee doesn't see anything wrong with that at all. I think it's Walker again who's gone down with a Gateshead player. That's just going to be a goal kick. So it was Williams who actually went off. Not sure what the injury may well have been, but we know that he is definitely off. So that must have been for... Was that for Colquette? It couldn't have been. I think we're still trying to work that one out. Anyway, Bella-Un gathers for the home side. In fact, it's Tinkler. Tinkler's come on for Williams, the experienced defender. Gateshead still have it. Stroking the ball around, not the best of passes for Grayson. Has to chase back towards his own goal line, clears in field towards the centre circle, controlled really well by Newton, spins, now charging forward, gets away from Anderson, The heavy pass though, meant for Malcolm. Straight through towards Jaskalainen. Just over 10 minutes to go. And if the game could end early right now, Woking would take that with both hands.
I think we all would really. I think it's just been a very very poor, very nondescript afternoon really from Woking, and I'm sure the players just want to get off and get home really.
And could Lewis beat the offside trap as he tries to get on that pass? Over the top. The flag didn't go up, but then again he didn't touch the ball, so we wouldn't have known. But Owen Mason certainly did his job, saw the danger early and gathers. Good pass from him too, right towards Newton in the middle of the Gateshead half. Whelan coming forward, sees Belaun as an option. The right back gets it to Radcliffe, and now towards the centre circle with Tinkler. The early ball into the feet of Malcolm, just dropping short, turns. Could have carried the ball himself, had the chance, but it goes back once again. Belaun making himself available down this near side, but it's back with Owen Mason and Booty, Newton, and Gateshead are just happy, I think, just to settle for what they've got. Lovely turn and pass from Colquette. Obviously a player with undoubted ability, having played for Chelsea at one time. The cross coming in from Hannon towards the far post, nodded down at the far post from Belaun making the run, but there was nobody there to collect for Gateshead. Walker near the halfway line, good pass into the feet of Gorman. Lifts it long, but it's too long, far too long for Ward. Had the right idea, but the execution, I'm afraid, was poor from a Woking perspective. Gateshead 4, Woking 0, and Woking could be looking at no goals in the last 4 league games. 1 win in 13 before today. The stats don't make good reading.
No, they don't. It's, and it's also the fact of conceding poor today. I think often Woking have come up short, but they've really kept the game tight, and it's but today hasn't been. Certainly hasn't been.
Let's look at the other scores so far in the National League while we have a break in play. There's going to be another substitution, I think, coming up very, very shortly. Aldershot 2, Halifax 2. Altrincham with a slender lead against Sutton United. 1-0 they lead at home. Barnet 4, Ebbsfleet 0. Another sorry afternoon for the bottom club. Dagenham and Redbridge 1, Rochdale 0. Eastleigh leading 2-1 at Fylde. Maidenhead United 1, Solihull 0. It's 2-2 between Oldham and Wealdstone. Southend and Hartlepool, that is still goalless. Dan Jones coming on, by the way, for pretty sure it was Booty. So that's the change for Gateshead with just over 6 minutes to go. In fact, Oldham have now taken the lead against Wealdstone. Tamworth 0, York 1. The leaders are leading at Tamworth, and Yeovil 2, Braintree 1. So those are all the latest scores in the National League. We'll just see if we can. We'll see how that affects the league table very, very shortly. Grayson is just getting a warm round of applause. So I thought it was Booty coming off, but it was Grayson, in fact, the player who made way. We're going to have another update with BBC Surrey in the closing stages of this game. Here's Dyche, right-footed, skims off the head of Effiong, jumped up for it with Ratcliffe. Free kick goes against the big man though.
Yeah, although it's a bit harsh, I think he is a big man, he just went for the ball there, but it's all pretty academic actually at the moment, so no great histrionics from anybody.
As another free kick goes against Woking. There's just been very, very little to get enthused about this afternoon for Woking. Completely outclassed. Booty allowed just to stride forward through the spine of the pitch. Lovely reverse pass, could pick out Hannant, but there at the back is Akinola. But why on earth he tried to keep the ball in play when he could have just kept it out for a corner? Here's Whelan on the edge of the box, could fall for Newton, drills a shot. Great defending though from Anderson, and that's out for a corner.
Yeah, good block there from Anderson, just to but a corner to come for Gateshead as we now in the 87th minute.
Another corner for Gateshead. We've seen quite a few of these today. This is a short one though. Oh, this could be another penalty. Yes, it is. And that time it's Anderson. Yes, and I'm afraid, Adrian, just as you join us, would you believe that Woking have now just conceded their third penalty of the game? It was a corner taken short by Gateshead, and Jermaine Anderson flying in with a tackle. He had no need to go in for the tackle. Over exuberance, you could say, but inexcusable, and it's another penalty. And I don't know if you want to stay with us or not. Maybe not, Adrian, given the circumstances. Okay, so we've got less than 3 minutes to go in this game, and well, how many times do you say this? But Luke Hannant has a chance to score a hat-trick from the penalty spot, with Gateshead leading by 4-0. Callum Whelan did have a chance to make it 5 with a vicious volley from a tight angle that produced a smart save from Jääskeläinen. But here is Luke Hannant striding away from the ball now. With his first two, he produced a couple of stuttering run-ups. Jääskeläinen poised on his line. He was unlucky with both those spot kicks. As we now wait, there's an almost hush around the ground now as we wait, and this could really just compound Woking's misery even further, already trailing by 4-0. Up it comes Hannant, the stuttering run. Oh, he's blazed it right over the bar. So there is some comfort at least for Woking, and the cheers you can hear are because he's actually hit, he scored in the net behind the actual goal. So it's gone in the wrong net, Adrian, but it is still 4-0 to Gateshead here against, well, you've got to laugh, haven't you? Welcome back to our online commentary, and I really don't know how Hannah got that so horribly wrong, but the irony of it was he did actually score, but in the wrong net.
Yeah, it was a bit of light relief, I suppose. Yeah, it's the practice goals are right, probably 50-60 yards behind the pitch, and it just cleared the bar and just ended up in the practice goals.
Dearie me. Do you know something? That almost feels like a slap in the face to Woking, the way that happened.
I know what you mean.
Anyway, early ball coming in towards Effiong. He's tried his heart out as Effiong, but they brought him in for the experience, not his pace. That is not one of his strengths. And I think we know that anyway, but he's tried his best today. But on an afternoon like this, how much more could he have done? It's just been a tough watch. And we're going to get 4 minutes of injury time for Woking. And they're peeling forward now with Newton. And Woking have to be really careful, otherwise it could be number 5, surely. Hannett drifts the ball in. Oh, the header just drifts wide. And I think it may well have been Malcolm with a header.
They just absolutely sliced Woking up there down the left, didn't they? A couple of quick passes and then they're away.
But when Gateshead turn it on and run at Woking at pace, you almost know, or you feel what's going to happen. And the way they came forward then, Woking were racing back, but they were exposed, and that could easily have been 5. And you mentioned it yourself, you used the words light relief. I think it's some consolation that it is in fact only 4 goals this afternoon.
Yeah,
Ian?
Yeah, it could have been more. Well, you know, Woking have had 2 or 3 half chances, I would say.
Certainly should have been 5 with Hannett's spot kick. The effort from Malcolm, just the wrong side of the post. Callum Whelan.
Yeah. You can say giving away 3 penalties is sort of bad luck, but I think it's symptomatic. It's probably symptomatic of the state of mind of the players, their uncertainty in terms of, because confidence is low. And then we have these calamities, and thankfully, you know, it was only 2 of the penalties have been converted. But how often have you seen a game where a team have given away 3 penalties in 90 minutes?
Dylan Lewis still looking really busy, looking to make something happen. Lewis makes a run, but goes into an offside position. Here's Ward. Oh, he's giving the ball away on the halfway line, and tearing forward now is Newton. Plays it into the path of Whelan. Drills the ball in, comes off Ward. Jääskeläinen can't keep that in play. Another corner. And every time Woking give the ball away, they do look as though, especially in their own half, they do look as though they're in big trouble. And they've got a corner to defend. Less than 2 minutes to go of this instantly forgettable game for Woking. They're going to be falling to another defeat away from home. In comes the corner, flicked away somehow by Akinola. Gorman, I should say, with his back towards the halfway line, wins the free kick. But the second half performance, in truth, hasn't been much better than the first. No, it's been a thoroughly dispiriting and demoralising afternoon, if I'm honest, and a very hard game to commentate on. Anderson, near the halfway line. The Gateshead fans in good voice, looking to keep up their pressure on the teams above them. And Lewis peeling away from Balloon, now running into the box on the left hand side, cuts in field, still gets a break of the ball, but stepping across is Ratcliffe. Callias up towards the halfway line. Newton now through towards Malcolm. He's through on goal. It's a tight angle. Jääskeläinen to beat, and he drills it wide. With only seconds to go before the end of the game, it wasn't the easiest of chances, but he had only Jääskeläinen to beat from a tight angle, but he pulls it well wide.
Yeah, and really only made possible by the indecision of the Woking players there, and that suddenly he was through. Well, as I was just saying, that's been a very difficult and dispiriting afternoon for Woking supporters, and it's a lot to do before really moving forward, and they really need to clear their heads after this and have a good long hard think and look at what comes next.
Well, I just saw Michael Doyle walk off. He did look a couple of times to his right. I'm not sure if he was trying to look for the Woking fans in the main stand. I've just seen Ben Turner walk off as well. He looked very disconsolate, very upset as well. It's just been a sorry afternoon, all in all, for Woking. They were losing 3-0 at half-time, conceding 2 penalties, both scored by Luke Hannant. A very good taken, very well taken goal from Newton. That made it 3. And then early in the second half, Woking conceded their 4th through Oseni, their leading goal scorer, grabbed their 4th from close range. Gateshead had other chances, the best of which was another penalty. Luke Hannant could have scored a hat-trick from the spot, but blazed his effort well over the bar. Callum Whelan also had a chance with a volley from a tight angle that produced a decent save from Jääskeläinen. Malcolm had that chance with a header wide of the mark, then one-on-one with Jääskeläinen from a tight angle. He drilled that wide. Woking, poor, very poor for large spells. They did have some possession. Just looking at some of the Woking players clapping towards the small number of fans who have come up. Gorman, certainly one of them. It's a tough afternoon for the players, a tough afternoon for the fans and everybody associated with Woking this afternoon. They have fallen to their 7th league defeat away from home. Their search of their first away win since late August continues, and they now stand very close indeed, even closer to the bottom 4 after losing here at Gateshead by 4-0.
See you boxing, dear lads. I'll let you interview Michael first. If he comes out, he may not.
Right. Well, I'd like to think he would.
He's professional, so he will. Right, where's the fun?
Oh.
You still need the thing?
Yeah. I'm using mine anyway.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
Right, okay. So that's mine. Yeah. You can come down and listen to the interview. Yeah. Not too long before he comes out. Because you've got your. It's 5 I've got an hour. Yeah, I should we should be away by 2020.
Oh, yeah, no.
Where were you doing the interviews?
Inside.
Oh, right.
In a minute.
It's alright.
It's not bad, mate, was it?
Cool,
Nice finish from Oseni. Proper deft touch, wasn't it?
What about the film? I bet they're ripping the piss out of him in the dressing room as well.
Well, Robbie, this is one way to take that.
Exactly. There's no pressure, is there? You know what I mean?
Tell you what,
So,
You did look good. His confidence back. Yeah, well,
is everything there yours?
Yeah.
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 It was proposed to me. Just bought them off and just sort of said, look, it's 4-0, you know.
so anyway,
All the rest of it. Well, I think it's live. Got 52. I think good.
Oh, right.
all is right.
One day.
Moral support.
All of them scored a
I
last
mean, I don't think you
minute.
would
Put it up.
agree. I think
Everyone won below, but
Everyone went below side. Fair enough, it's going to happen.
yeah. York let one in right at the end.
Oh, did they?
Barnes went back top.
Wow, really? That was unexpected.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, Blythe.
I remember
Scored in the last minute, the 93rd minute.
Phil Gilchrist when he was manager and when we got relegated, and his last game we lost 4-1, and it was just him sat on his team. It was all the players. Yeah, not even. Yeah,
Well, that was no there.
no, just no.
Last time, sorry for that, Matty Taylor, he made, Matty Walter, he made loads of runs that didn't,
Really good, wasn't it?
they didn't pick him out once.
Yeah, well, they did as well, yeah.
I'd be angry if I was him, right?
Yeah.
And also that number 6, Anderson did as well. There was one in the first half, and he was like, he would have, if that had got through, and he would have opened it up completely.
That was bigger. Aye, that's what he was putting a lot of effort in.
I thought the only player
You go through it, one down.
Have you got a phone you can record? I'm just going to use the loo and I'll be straight back. If you see Michael come out, you just say, I'll be back here.
Oh, nice one.
Anyone to sign it? Oh, you have. You got people to sign it as well.
Bernard, hurry up. Hurry up.
It's cool. It's cool.
We'll have to go straight out because man's getting off at the metro station at Gateshead Stadium. She's been doing it there in heaven.
Aye,
So she's
that's
getting up
this
there,
morning where you
so-
were dropping it, wasn't it? Yeah.
Aye.
What time do you see you'd be there for?
So I said probably about 30 minutes, but then when the game finished then I said so probably there about 10 minutes.
Aye, it's been nice, fair enough.
Once I get this stuff I'll put away. But yeah, it's tell you what, win the next 2 games, Christmas Day will be nice.
Aye. Who we got next week? Epstein.
It's Dempsey, is it?
No,
No, Maidenhead.
no, Graves empty. What's Graves empty?
I am still waiting, yeah.
Epstein away.
All right.
I think we're relegated this week. Epstein, I think we'll get relegated. I'm sure I've seen. I don't know if it was a joke count.
Yep.
So the first,
Yep.
Oh, it's
first
too
team,
early
the
to
first
see.
team will get relegated.
No, they can't do that.
I must.
No
I'm.
way.
So some of the girls from my class.
Yeah, cool.
Apparently they won it, free tickets.
Nice one.
Nah, that's got to be one. Go have a look.
Tell you that, I read it and I was like, eh? So I don't know if that's true.
Got 9 points.
Are they on 9 points?
Yeah. 20.
Oh,
Nah,
there's,
they've still got 20 games.
must have been a sarcastic tweet.
60, yeah, 60 points available. Nah.
Yeah, well, this was no thriller, more of a nightmare really for Woking. Their long search for an away win continues, falling to their 7th defeat now on the road. 2-0 down they were after just 15 minutes, and at that time you feared the worst. Devoid of confidence, they really struggled to get out of first gear. Gateshead thoroughly deserved the margin of their victory. Hannant with 2 first half penalties, an excellent strike from Newton. If 3-0 at half time, you wondered if there was going to be a reaction from Woking. I'm afraid there wasn't. It was more or less a carbon copy performance in the second half, again conceding early. Their 4th goal, that time that came from Owen Oseni, the leading goal scorer for them from close range. Other chances came and went for Gateshead. Hannant had the chance to score a hat-trick from the penalty spot, but he showed Woking mercy and blasted that well over the bar. Just one win in 14 now for Woking, and you really do wonder where they go from here. Gateshead 4, Woking 0. I'll be brutally frank with you, Adrian. I think he was so fed up and annoyed. He actually stormed off. He was. I've never seen it. I have never seen Ian like that. By the way, seriously, I've never seen Ian like that after a Woking game.